The sky above planet Aloria was always calm. The twin suns rose slowly, spreading soft golden light across the wide green fields. Birds with long silver wings flew across the sky, singing in their strange, musical voices. Joran wiped sweat from his forehead and looked at the crops. His tall grain stalks waved gently in the morning wind. He smiled. This was a good season. He was just a farmer. Nothing more. He lived in a small village called Creighton, far from the main cities. People here lived quiet lives. They grew food, fixed machines, and told stories around campfires. They didn't talk about the outside world much. They didn't care for it. Joren had lived here since he was a child. His father had built the farmhouse with his own hands. Now it was Joran's turn to take care of the land. Every morning, he woke up before sunrise, checked the soil, repaired the droids, and watered the crops. And at night, he would sit on the roof and look at the stars. He always felt something. When he looked at them, a strange feeling, like he was meant for more, but he never told anyone. A strange sound that day. Something was different. Around noon, he heard a strange sound from the sky. It wasn't like thunder. It wasn't like the ships that sometimes passed high above. It was low, angry, and growing louder. Joren stopped working. He looked up. The birds had flown away. The air felt heavy. Then he saw it. Something was falling from the sky, fast. A trail of black smoke followed it. It wasn't a meteor. It was metal. A ship, small, damaged, spinning out of control. It was heading straight toward his field. Joran ran. The ground shook as the object crashed into the earth, throwing dust and fire into the air. A loud boom echoed across the valley. Birds cried out and animals ran. He stood at the edge of the crater, coughing from the smoke. His heart was beating fast. What had fallen here? The crashed ship. Joran slowly climbed down into the crater. The metal was still glowing hot. He could hear something inside clicking, like broken machines trying to work. He saw the shape of a cockpit, and inside, someone was moving. He stepped closer. The figure was small. Its skin was gray-blue. Its eyes large and black. It was bleeding. Wounded. Badly. Joran froze. It was not human. The creature looked at him. It was afraid, but it wasn't attacking. It raised one weak hand and pressed a strange device into Joran's palm. Its voice was dry and broken. They must hide it. Then the creature gasped and collapsed. It was dead. Joren stood still for a long moment. He looked at the small device in his hand. It was smooth and black, with glowing red lines on it. It felt warm. He didn't understand what it was, but he knew one thing. This was not just an accident. The device back in his house. Joran placed the device on the table and examined it. It had no buttons, no screen, only a single blinking red light. Tried to open it, shake it, scan it. Nothing worked. But when he touched the center with his thumb, something happened. The device glowed bright. A blue hologram shot up into the air. It showed a galaxy map with many stars blinking. A voice began to speak. Calm, but serious. This is Captain Viren of the Arcani Alliance. If you are seeing this message, then I have failed. They are after me. After this device. It holds the key to the war, to everything. Do not let them find it. Hide it, or fight. Then the message ended. Joran stared at the device. His hands were shaking. War. He had never seen war. Not in his lifetime. Who were the Arcani Alliance? Who were they? And why had this thing fallen into his field? Night falls that night. Joran didn't sleep. He buried the alien in a quiet corner of his field, near the tall stones. He covered the body with care, though he didn't even know its name. The stars above him looked different now. Not peaceful. Not friendly. He sat on the roof of his farmhouse, holding the device. In the distance, something glowed in the sky. Another ship? No, too small. He used his old telescope. A black shape floated in the sky, silent, blocking the stars. It wasn't like any ship he had seen before, and it wasn't moving. It was watching. Visitors in the dark at midnight. Joran woke to a strange noise. He grabbed his old pulse rifle, one he kept for hunting. He hadn't used it in years. He looked. Out the window, 3 shadows were walking across his field. They were not human, tall, thin, armored from head to toe. Their helmets glowed red. They moved like wolves. They reached the crash site and began scanning. Joran's heart raced. He had hidden the device under a loose floorboard. One of the creatures looked toward his house. Then, it started walking toward him. Joran backed away from the window. He held his breath. A second later, the door flew open. Fight or die, the creature entered with fast steps. Joran shot once, but the blast bounced off its armor. It growled and leapt forward. Joran grabbed a metal bar from the fireplace and struck its helmet hard. The creature fell back, but not for long. They fought across the room, knocking over furniture and tools. Joran was strong, but this thing was faster. Still, he fought like a cornered animal. In the end, he hit it with an energy torch, burning its neck. It screamed and fell dead. Joran stood over the body, panting, bleeding from his shoulder. He had never killed anything bigger than a bird. Now he had killed whatever this was. He looked at his shaking hands. Was this really him? A memory returns. He sat down, breathing hard. Then something strange happened. The floorboard where he had hidden the device began to glow. The device floated in the air and scanned him with a red light. A calm voice said, "DNA match confirmed. Hybrid. Signature active. Preparing memory unlock." Joran blinked. Then he remembered something. He was a child. His father had taken him to the mountains. They had trained with strange weapons. His father had said, "Someday they'll come. You won't remember this now, but when the time comes, your blood will remember." The memory faded. Joran looked down at his hands. Maybe he wasn't just a farmer after all. The watcher above him. The sky, the black ship moved again. Slowly. Quietly. But now, it wasn't watching the field. It was watching him. Ending line hook for part 2. The device pulsed with light again and spoke. "Prepare yourself, Joran of Eloria. The war has found you." Fade to black. Smoke still rose from the crater outside Joran's farm. The sky was now dark, filled with stars that looked colder than before. The fields were quiet, but not safe. Inside his house, Joran sat at his old wooden table. His right shoulder was bleeding, but he didn't feel it. His eyes were fixed on the glowing black device in front of him. Earlier tonight, he had killed something not human. Now, the device was talking to him. It had said, "Hybrid. Signature active." What did that mean? He didn't know, but something deep inside him had changed. Echoes of the past as the device floated above the table. Another memory returned to Joran, like a dream waking up. He was 10 years old. His father was standing in a dark room underground. There were old machines and blinking lights. His father had said, "This place was not meant for farming. One day you will understand." Joran blinked. The memory was gone again. Now he looked at the device. He gently touched it again. The hologram returned. This time, it didn't show stars. It showed a face. The same alien who had died in his field, Captain Viren. The hologram spoke. Again, the message, "My name is Captain Viren of the Arcani Alliance. If you are watching this, then I am dead. I stole this device from the Zyphar Dominion. It holds their war codes, base maps, and something else. Something old. Something they fear." Joran leaned forward. The alien continued, "This planet is in danger. They tracked me here. They will come. They will not ask questions. They will burn your homes and take your people. You must hide this device or destroy it. But if you are human, you might also fight. If so, find the others. Your kind is not extinct. The image flickered, then vanished. The room was silent again. Joren stood up slowly. Others? He whispered. What others? The hidden box. Joren returned to his father's room, which had remained closed since his father passed away 6 years ago. Dust covered everything. He searched the shelves, the walls, the floor. Behind a loose panel under the bed, he found something. A metal box, old, heavy, with the same strange red lines as the alien device. It opened with a hiss. Inside were papers, photos, and something wrapped in cloth. He opened the cloth. It was a bracelet, dark silver, with a small red gem. He touched it. The bracelet attached to his wrist instantly, locking into place. Identity linked. A robotic voice whispered from it. Joren, designation, Omega 7. He stumbled back. His father had hidden all this? Why? Trouble. In the sky. Joren went outside. The wind was colder. The sky was darker. And the ship in the sky was gone. He scanned the stars but couldn't find it. Then he heard a sharp sound from the barn. He grabbed his rifle and ran. The barn doors were open. Inside, hay was thrown everywhere. His old work droid lay broken on the floor. Someone had been here. He moved slowly through the dark barn. Behind him, a whisper. He turned and saw her. The stranger. She was human. Or looked like one. Tall, dark hair, wearing a suit that shimmered like smoke. Her eyes glowed slightly unnatural. She raised her hands. Don't shoot. Joren aimed his rifle anyway. Who are you? I'm not here to hurt you, she said. I followed the signal. The device, you have it. You're with them? She shook her head. I'm like you. He didn't lower the gun. I'm from Sector 9, she said. We're the last ones, the last hybrids. Hybrids? Joren asked. What does that even mean? She stepped closer. It means you were born with more than you know. Strength, speed, memory, all hidden. All locked until now. Joren lowered the gun, just slightly. Who are you? He asked. My name is Kale. I came to help you, if it's not too late. The truth about hybrids back in the farmhouse. Kale explained everything. Hundreds of years ago, the Human Federation had created super soldiers, half human, half alien. They were called hybrids. They were designed to win the Galactic War, but they were too strong. Too independent. The Federation feared them. So they erased all records of the project, shut down the labs, and scattered the children, hidden on distant worlds, raised by normal families, like Joren. Kale had found only 5 others like herself. Now she believed the Zifar Dominion was hunting. The hybrids afraid they would rise again, and the device held something the Zifar feared most. Not just codes, a map of hybrid locations. The hunters returned suddenly. A loud boom shook the house. The sky outside turned red. Kale looked out the window. They're here. Joren ran to the door. 3 black ships were descending. Not like before, faster, louder, and armed. One ship dropped pods into the forest nearby. Troops were coming. They found us, Kale said. We need to run. Joren grabbed the device. I'm not running. Kale looked at him. You don't know what they can do. Joren's eyes were calm now. I don't know who I am, but I'm done hiding. He stepped outside, the first strike. The alien soldiers came, fast glowing weapons in their hands, moving like shadows. Joren fired first. His shot hit one, throwing it back into a tree. Another aimed at Kale, but she moved like lightning, stabbing it with a blade from her wrist. Joren moved without thinking. His body knew what to do. He dodged, blocked, and fought. Something inside him had awakened. But they kept coming. More pods landed near the house. Kale shouted, "We need backup." Joren said, "There is no backup." Kale looked up and smiled. "Not yet." Back up from the sky, a loud hum filled the air. Above them, a small fighter ship broke through the clouds and fired at the alien soldiers. They exploded in fire and smoke. The ship landed near the barn. A young man jumped out, goggles on his head, holding a strange rifle. He waved. "Hey, you must be Joran." Joran blinked. "Who are you?" The boy grinned. "I'm Leo. Kale called me. I hack ships and fry machines. Welcome to the Resistance." The escape plan inside the ship. Leo showed them a hidden screen. The device had fully activated. The map now showed several blinking dots, locations of other hybrids across the galaxy. Kale pointed to one close by. "She's alive. We can get her." Joran looked at the screen. "How do we know it's real?" Leo said, "We don't. But the enemy is hunting them too." Kale added, "We can't fight alone." Joran nodded. "Then let's find the others." Hook ending as the ship took off into the night sky. The field below still burned. The farmhouse faded into the distance. Inside the ship, the device pulsed one more time and spoke. "Warning. Zephyr command ship detected. Time to planetary strike. 26 hours. Joran closed his eyes. The war wasn't just coming. It had already begun. The sky above Eloria was burning. Black smoke curled into the air where the alien drop pods had crashed. Trees were on fire. The wind carried the smell of smoke, metal, and something worse. Fear. Inside the stolen Resistance ship, Joran sat beside Kale and Leo. The ship cut through the clouds, flying low, avoiding the Zephyr command ship above. Kale stared at the red warning on the screen. Time to planetary strike, 24 hours. Leo frowned. They're not playing around anymore. If they can't get the device, they'll destroy the whole planet. Joran looked out the window. His home, his farm, his land, it was all fading behind them. "This isn't just about me," he said. "Is it?" Kale shook her head. "No, it's about all of us." Tracking the next hybrid inside the cockpit, Leo tapped quickly on the screen. The device scanned a nearby signal hybrid energy signature. "She's close. Less than 600 miles. Hiding in the Red Rock Canyons. Who is she?" Joran asked. Kale said, "Her name is Ray. She was trained. More than us. But she went silent 5 years ago." Leo added, "If anyone can help us survive this, it's her." Joran nodded. "Then we find her." The ship changed direction, engines roaring through the sky. But they weren't alone. The Zephyr hunters far behind them. A Zephyr battlecruiser hovered above Eloria. It looked like a floating fortress, black steel, red lights, and humming power. Lines that crackled with energy. Inside the ship, a tall alien warrior stood in the command center. His name was Commander Drex. He wore no helmet. His skin was dark blue, and a long scar ran down his face. His eyes glowed red as he watched a hologram of Joran's face. "Activate the Reapers," he said. "I want the hybrid alive." "Kill the others," a soldier bowed. "Yes, Commander." The ambush as Joran's ship flew through the canyon. Kale noticed something blinking on the radar. "Something's tracking us," she said. "Could be birds," Leo said nervously. Kale narrowed her eyes. "Zephyr birds don't leave heat signatures." Suddenly, a sharp buzzing sound rang out. Then boom! A plasma missile slammed into their left wing. The ship spun out of control. "Brace!" Leo shouted. They crashed into the canyon wall. Dust, rocks, and fire filled the air. Inside the cockpit, Joran coughed, blood on his lip. Kale kicked open the hatch. "We have to move. Now." 3 dark figures dropped from the Sky Reaper-class Zephyr hunters. Fast, silent, and deadly. They weren't here to talk. The canyon fight. The first Reaper jumped toward Kale with sharp claws. She dodged, spun, and stabbed it with her energy blade. It hissed. Sparks flying from its armor. Jor raised his rifle and fired. The shot hit the Reaper in the neck. It staggered, then collapsed. But 2 more were coming. Leo threw an M.K. grenade. It exploded with a bright flash, scrambling their sensors. Now! Kale shouted that they ran deeper into the canyon behind them. The Reapers recovered quickly and gave chase, climbing walls like spiders. They're too fast. Leo yelled. Joren stopped. He turned around, raised both hands, and focused. His bracelet glowed red. Then a wave of energy shot out, blasting both Reapers backward. Even Kale stared. "You're stronger than before," she said. "I'm just getting started," Joren replied, meeting Ray as they reached a narrow tunnel. A voice called out from the shadows, "Stop." Joren aimed his rifle. A woman stepped forward, tall, calm, with silver markings on her arms. Her eyes glowed softly. "I've been watching you," she said. "You brought the war to my home." "Ray?" Kale asked. The woman nodded. Lio stepped forward. "We didn't have a choice. Zephyr is hunting us." "You're one of us." "I was," Ray replied. "But I left that behind." Joren stepped forward. "You can't hide forever. They'll destroy everything." She stared at him. "You're the farmer," she said. "The one from Eloria." "Yes," he said. "Not a farmer anymore." Ray looked at Kale. "Come with us," Kale said. "We need you." Ray turned away. Then she whispered, "They're already here." Hunter versus hybrid. Before they could react, a sharp sound cut through the air. Drexx had arrived. He dropped from a dark shuttle, landing hard in the canyon, crushing rocks beneath his boots. Behind him, 5 Reapers followed. Drex looked at Joren. "You, the last Omega hybrid. I've waited a long time to erase your line." Joren stepped forward. "You'll have to try." Kale whispered, "He's too strong." Ray said, "Not if we fight together." The 3 hybrids attacked. Kale moved fast, slashing at the Reapers. Ray used her gravity field to crush one into the wall. Joren fought Drex directly. The commander was powerful, his fists like hammers. He struck Joren hard, breaking stone, slamming him into the canyon floor. Joren coughed blood. Drex raised his blade. "This is the end." But Ray threw her energy whip, wrapping it around his arm. Kale leapt from behind, stabbing his side. Joren stood and activated his bracelet. A red aura covered his body. He punched Drex with full hybrid force. The ground cracked. Beneath them, Drex fell back, wounded, roaring in pain. "This isn't over," he hissed, and vanished in a teleport flash. The message changes after the fight. The device beeped again. Leo picked it up. The map. It's changed. A new signal had appeared. Not 1, 4. Joren stared at the screen. "More hybrids?" Kale nodded. "All waking up." Ray said, "The signal is a trap. They'll go after each one." Joren looked at her. "Then we stop them before they do." Hook ending in the distance, the Zephyr command ship began to glow. Brighter. A countdown appeared on the hologram screen. "Planetary strike begins in 12 hours. Joren tightened his fists. "This isn't just a fight to survive," Kale asked. "Then what is it?" Joren looked out at the stars. "It's the beginning of our war." A deep hum echoed across the sky of Eloria as the Zephyr command ship hovered above the mountains. Its red core pulsed faster now. Planetary strike in 12 hours. Inside the resistance ship, Joren stared at the hologram. 4 new blinking lights had appeared. Each one was a signal. Each one was a hybrid waking up. The device glowed stronger in his hands, reacting to their presence. Kale zoomed in on the map. "One is on a moon base in Sector 5. One's inside a mining prison. Another in deep ocean territory. The last one, underground. No records." Leo adjusted his goggles. "If we don't get them before Zephyr does, they'll be killed or captured." Ray crossed her arms. "Then we move now." Joren nodded. "Split up. We don't have time." Plan of action. The ship's cockpit lit up with red alerts. Outside, Zephyr patrol drones were scanning the canyons. Leo worked fast on the navigation. Ray. And I can take the shuttle. We'll head to the moon base. Her skills will get us in, Kale added. I'll go for the prison camp. I was trained for stealth. Joran looked at the blinking dot on the ocean. I'll take that one. Kale raised an eyebrow. You don't even swim, Joran smirked. Guess I'll learn fast. Ray handed him a small black device. A breathing modulator. Clip it to your neck. It'll help you survive underwater for a while. Joran clipped it on. They looked at each other, hybrids, once scattered, now united. Joren said, We meet back here in 10 hours. We don't win if we don't get them all. They nodded. The team split. Beneath the ocean, Joran flew in a stealth pod toward the deep blue side of Aloria, the ocean planet known as Trinovas. The signal had led him here, but no land. No light, only miles of crashing waves. The pod dove into the water. He activated his breathing modulator. Cold water rushed past him. Visibility dropped. Then he saw it. A metal dome hidden beneath the sea floor, glowing faint blue. As the pod landed, the bracelet on his wrist pulsed. Hybrid signal detected, energy suppressed. He stepped out and entered the dome through a sealed hatch. Inside was silence, and a girl, the sleeping hybrid. She lay inside a containment chamber. Young, pale skin, long white hair floating slightly in the water tank. Joren pressed a button. The chamber opened. Water spilled out, and she fell into his arms. Weak and cold, suddenly her eyes opened, bright violet. She gasped and pushed him back with a blast of telekinetic force. Joran hit the wall hard. She stood, shivering. Who are you? She asked. I'm like you, he said. Hybrid. They're coming. You need to wake up. She stared at him. They locked me here. Sighed I was dangerous. You probably are, he said. But you're also not alone. She stepped forward. My name is Ellen. I'm Joran. Suddenly, the alarm rang. Drones had found them. Underwater escape. The dome shook as Zyphar sea drones blasted the outer walls. Ellen raised her hand and screamed. A burst of psychic force shattered the wall. Water rushed in. Joran grabbed her hand. Hold your breath. They swam through the collapsing dome as drones fired behind them. Joran pulled her toward the surface, using his bracelet to power the boosters. They reached the pod and jumped in. The pod shot upward, away from the destruction. As they broke the surface, Ellen looked at him. You came for me, she said. I'm not the only one, he replied. In the shadows of steel, meanwhile, Kale had reached the prison mine in the desert belt. The hybrid here was locked underground. A male strong signal, but surrounded by Zyphar guards. Kale moved through shadows, disabling cameras and taking out guards silently. She reached the main cell. Inside was a man covered in dirt and scars. He looked up. His eyes glowed golden. Kale? He said. I thought you were dead. She froze. Taran? He nodded. They had trained together once years ago. She opened the door. We need to go, now. But alarms blared. Too late, he said. The wall exploded. Drek stood there, glowing red, alive and angrier than before. Kale versus Drexkale pushed Taran behind her. I'll hold him. Get to the ship, Taran growled. I'm not leaving you. But Kale charged. She fought Drex with twin blades, fast and furious. Sparks flew as they clashed. Drex slammed her into a wall. Taran roared and joined the fight, punching Drex hard enough to crack the floor. Together, they pushed the commander back. Kale threw a plasma mine. Boom. Dust filled the chamber. They ran. The resistance ship was waiting outside. Taran looked back. He's still alive, Kale said. So are we. That's enough for now. The moon of ice high above the planet. Leo and Ray approached the frozen moon base. It was quiet. Too quiet. They entered through a broken docking door. The signal came from deep inside, but the base was dark and cold. Leo scanned the area. Someone disabled life support. They moved carefully, weapons ready. Inside the lab chamber, they found him. A boy no older than 16, frozen in cryo-sleep. Name. Dax, hybrid. Ray touched the console, releasing now. Suddenly behind them, doors slammed shut. Gas filled the room. Traps. Ray held her breath and smashed the control panel. The gas stopped. Dax woke up coughing. Where am I? He asked. With us, Leo said. And out of time. Reunited back at the canyon base, one by one. The teams returned. Joren with Elin. Kale with Turan. Ray with Dax. They stood together for the first time. 7 hybrids. All alive, all awake. Leo stepped forward. That's it. That's everyone. The device pulsed. And then spoke. Omega hybrid chain, active. Final protocol unlocked. A new hologram appeared, a map of the Zifar ship, and a message. The final warning. The message was old. Recorded by Captain Viren, the alien who had died at Joren's farm. If you are seeing this, the hybrids have awakened. The Zifar Dominion fears what you are. You must strike first. Destroy their ship. The core is unstable. If it reaches full charge, it will destroy this system. Joren looked around. Kale nodded. We have to stop them, tonight. Ray added. We finally have the team. Ellen raised her hand. Then let's finish this. Joren stared at the sky, above them. The Zifar command ship lit up. Planetary strike. 2 hours. Time was running out. Hook. Ending. The team boarded the resistance ship. Joren sat in the pilot seat. He looked at each of them, fighters, survivors, hybrids. Took a deep breath. This is it, Leo asked. You sure we can win? Joren answered, calm and strong. We're not just fighting for survival. We're fighting for everyone who was never given a choice. The ship lifted off, heading straight for the enemy. The final battle had begun, above the burning sky. Of Eloria, the Zifar command ship hovered like a monster made of metal and fire. Its red energy core glowed brighter with each second. Planetary strike in, 1 hour, 48 minutes. Inside the resistance ship, Joren tightened his grip on the controls. 7 hybrids were with him. Each one had power. Each one had something to lose. And together they had one mission, end the Zifar threat. Kale stood beside him. We only get one shot. Joren nodded. Then we make it count. The infiltration begins. Their ship cloaked as it approached the underside of the Zifar vessel. Hidden. Hangars dotted the belly of the massive ship. One was unguarded. Leo whispered, That's our way in. As the ship latched onto the hangar wall, Joren looked at everyone. We move fast, hit hard, stick together unless separated. The core is top-level guarded. Ellen, the waterborne hybrid, asked, And Drex? Kale replied coldly, He'll come. I hope he does. They entered the hangar silently. Inside, red lights flickered. The metal hallways were cold and humming with energy. The ship was alive, and it knew they were here. Into the belly of the beast, the team moved in 2 units. Team Alpha, Joren, Kale, Ellen, and Dax, heading to the core reactor. Team Beta, Ray, Turan, and Leo, heading to control rooms to disable. Defenses. They had 90 minutes before the planetary weapon would fire. Joren's bracelet glowed as they moved through the hall. Energy surge ahead. He whispered. 2 Reapers dropped from the ceiling. Weapons charged. Kale didn't wait. She launched forward, slicing one in half with her twin blades. Ellen focused and released a pressure wave that threw the other Reaper into a wall. Joren fired clean, finishing the enemy. Dax looked nervous. He was the youngest. First time killing? Joren asked gently. Dax nodded. Jore and put a hand on his shoulder. You did good. Keep moving. Control room raid. Meanwhile, Team Beta reached the outer ring of the control tower. Heavy Zifar troopers guarded it, unlike anything they'd seen. Turan cracked his knuckles. My turn. He ran headfirst, smashing the floor as he moved. A shockwave threw guards into walls. Ray used her gravity control to pin them while Leo rushed to the command console. Give me 60 seconds. Leo shouted. Ray blocked plasma fire, her body glowing. Leo hacked fast. The system fought back, but he was faster. Done! He yelled. Cameras down, doors unlocked, security drones offline. Turan grinned. That'll help, Ray asked. What now? Leo said, now we light a path. The betrayal back with Team Alpha. As they reached the reactor floor, alarms blared. Joran stopped. That's not us. Dax suddenly froze. I feel pain. Then the floor beneath them shook violently. Drex dropped from the ceiling like a shadow. Welcome, he growled. To your end. Joran stood firm. We're not running this time. Kale and Ellen prepared to attack, but something strange happened. Dax stepped back. His body shimmered and changed. A hidden Zyphar mark appeared on his skin. Kale shouted, no, he's not one of us. Dax grinned, eyes now red. I was created to infiltrate you, and now to finish you. He activated an energy bomb on his chest. Race against a detonation, Ellen screamed, throwing the shield over the team. The blast hit hard, shaking the reactor floor. Dax escaped through a vent. Laughing. Joren was bleeding, but alive. Kale cursed. He was a clone, a weapon. Drex stepped forward. And you brought him here. Thank you for the key. He held a glowing red crystal. Kale gasped. That's from the Resistance Core. It unlocks your kind, Drex said. But now I will use it to erase you. He charged. The battle began. Final battle. Joran versus Drex. Two clashed like titans. Joren used all his hybrid energy. His bracelet glowed red hot. Drex was stronger, older, more trained. But Joran had something else. On purpose. They fought through the burning chamber. Kale and Ellen battled Reapers, while Joran took hit after hit. You are nothing but a farmer. Drex spat. Jore and wiped blood from his face. Not anymore. He activated his full power. The chamber lit up in red light. With a final punch, Joran hit Drex so hard that the floor beneath them collapsed. Drex screamed and fell into the power core below, disappearing in a surge of light. The reactor meltdown. Leo's voice came through the comm. Core is unstable. You have 5 minutes before this whole ship explodes. Joran coughed. We're done here. The team reunited at the hangar. Ein looked back. What about Dax? Kale said, he made his choice. Turan hit the launch button. Their ship shot out, just as the Zyphar vessel exploded behind them. A massive red ball of fire lighting up the sky. Below, the people of Eloria looked up. The sky cleared. The war had turned. The cost of victory back at the canyon base. The team stood together. Joran's arm was broken. Ray had burns. Turan limped, but they were alive, and the Zyphar command ship was gone. Kale said softly, we lost too much. Ellen added, but we're still standing. Leo tapped on the hologram map. Zyphar's army is in chaos. They weren't expecting this, Ray nodded. Now we strike back. Joran looked at the stars. No more running. Hook ending in deep space. A message was received. On a hidden Zyphar colony, a new figure watched the explosion. Report. Tall, cloaked, eyes glowing purple. Drex has failed, the voice said. Then it's time for me to finish what he started. He turned toward a dark army, thousands of Zyphar. Soldiers waking from sleep. The war was not over. It was just beginning. Point 1. Silence after the fire. After the destruction of the Zyphar command ship, the sky above Eloria turned calm. No fire. No drones. No sirens. Just silence. But Joran didn't smile. He stood outside the base, staring at the stars. They're too quiet, he said. Kale stood beside him. That's not peace. That's planning. Behind them, the team gathered. Tehran was healing. Ray had burns on her hands. Leo scanned the sky with his device. Ellen walked in with a strange report. There's a signal. Joran turned. From where? From outside the system, she said. Far edge of the galaxy. But it's Zyphar tech. Leo checked. Encrypted, and not random. It's a wake-up call. 2. The message they connected the signal to the hologram projector. A figure appeared, tall, hidden in shadows. Glowing violet eyes. I am Commander Varix, the voice said. You killed Drex. That was ... unexpected. Kale whispered. Another one, Varix continued. But Drex was a soldier. I am a maker, you see. The command ship was never. The heart of Zyphar. It was a decoy. The real power lives in the last colony. He leaned forward. And you, dear hybrids, you were never meant to win. You were meant to lead me to the rest. The message ended. Leo cursed. He used us like a tracking device. Joran clenched his fist. We finish this. Wherever this last colony is, we burn it down. 3. Coordinates. To the void, this signal contained coordinates somewhere beyond known space. Leo said, it's in the Terran expanse. Old star maps listed as a dead zone, no light, no readings. Ray added, a place to hide an army. Joran nodded. We go, Ellen asked. All of us? Kale replied, we started this together. We finish it together. The ship powered up. The hybrids took their positions. Destination, unknown. 4. The journey to darkness. The resistance ship moved fast, flying past dead moons and collapsed stars. Time passed strangely in the expanse. Dax, the clone traitor from before, haunted their thoughts. What if there are more like him? Tehran asked. There probably are, Joran said. That's why we can't hesitate. Hours passed. Systems flickered. Shields failed briefly. The expanse was unnatural. Then they saw it. A dark planet. No name. No light. Covered in metallic. Towers and deep scars. Kale whispered. The last colony. 5. Infiltrating the forbidden zone. They landed near a canyon opening. Hidden hangars were built into the mountain. The place felt cold like it hated light. Joran led the team. No guards. No. Alarm. Too quiet. Ray's voice echoed. It's like they want us to enter. They did. Through the tunnel, the team found hybrids. Thousands of them, sleeping in stasis pods. Ian gasped. They're like us. Varix's voice came from above. You're looking at my army. Each one stronger than the last, and you. The originals with a template. 6. Revelation. The true origin. A giant screen lit up. It showed past data, files, and footage. The truth. You were never accidents, Varix said. You were created by us. Sent across planets to see which would survive. You are not rebels, you are seeds. Joran's heart stopped. No. We're not your weapons. You were meant to rise. And now that you have, you'll help me wake them all. He activated a panel. The stasis pods began to glow. Kale shouted, we need to shut it down. 7. The internal conflict. Suddenly, Ellen stepped back. What if he's right? She asked softly. What if this is who we are? Tehran turned. You're not thinking straight. But these hybrids, we could end every war. End pain. Build a stronger galaxy, she said, eyes glowing. Joren looked at her. And destroy freedom? Varix's voice echoed. Exactly. Let the strong lead. Let the weak fall. Kale pulled out her blade. Make your choice, Ellen. Ellen turned. Back to Joran. I'm with you, she said. 8. The battle for the colony. The hybrids rushed to the control room. Guards appeared from walls. Bigger. Faster. Silent. Joren and Kale led the charge. Leo hacked into the system to free stasis activation. Tehran used brute strength to break pillars and delay reinforcements. Ray lifted enemies with gravity and slammed them. Ellen and Joran reached the main core. Varric stood there, in the flesh. His body glowed with energy, arms covered in armor. He looked like a god. "Welcome," he said. "Let's see if your rebellion is real." 9. Joran versus Varric's final duel began. Varric's moved like lightning, his strikes brutal and precise. Joran struggled to keep up. Ellen tried to help, but was thrown aside. "You are the last flame," Varric said, "and I will put it out." Joran's bracelet cracked. He was bleeding, but he remembered the farm, the fields, his family. And he roared. His body erupted in red light. Not Zephyr power his own. He slammed into Varric's, punching through his armor. Kale and Ray joined, overwhelming him. Leo finally hacked the core. System override. Shutdown initiated. 10. Collapse and escape. The colony shook violently. Pods short-circuited. Towers fell. The team ran, carrying Ellen and a limping Tehran. As the planet began collapsing, Joran turned to Varric's broken body. "You wanted gods," he whispered, "but we chose to be human." They boarded the ship and escaped just as the last colony fell into the dark star nearby. Devoured. 11. One last light back on Aloria. The team stood on the hill where the farm once stood. The war was over. The galaxy saved. Kale asked, "What now?" Joran smiled. "We rebuild, not as weapons, as people." Ray added, "And if any enemy rises again," Leo grinned, "then they'll meet the farmers of Aloria, hook ending far away." In an unknown galaxy, a child opened a drawer. Inside, a glowing hybrid crystal. His eyes turned violet. And somewhere in space, a new voice whispered, "Phase 2 begins." 1. 6 months later, a strange signal piece had returned to Aloria. The skies were blue again. The fields were growing. Joren, now with short gray hairs on the side, walked through the farm he rebuilt. It wasn't big, but it was home. Kale trained young survivors nearby. Ray and Tehran helped build homes. Ellen and Leo worked on communications. But one quiet morning, Leo rushed into the field. "Joran," he said breathlessly. "We've got a problem." Joran dropped his tools. "What now?" Leo pulled up a screen, a signal. Same tech as Zyphar. Same signature as Varric's. Joran's blood ran cold. "That's impossible. He's gone." Leo zoomed in. The signal was coming from a child. 2. The boy in the dust in a ruined mining colony named Uther 7. A rescue team found a strange child about 9 years old. No parents, no records. But he survived a radiation storm without any protection. And his eyes, they glowed violet. Ellen examined the reports. "This is impossible. No hybrid child has ever been born, only created." Kale frowned. "Maybe he wasn't born." Ray added, "Then someone out there is still making them." Joran said only one thing: "Bring him here." 3. First contact. The child was small, quiet, and never blinked. He had no name. He only whispered, "I heard your voice." "Joran." Joran was stunned. "How?" The boy looked up. He left pieces of himself. "In all of you, I hear them." Ellen tried scanning him. His DNA was hybrid. Yes, but unlike any before. "Stronger," she said. "Faster, he's evolved." Kale didn't trust him. "This is Varric's doing." Joran asked gently, "Do you remember anything?" The boy answered, "A cold room, lights, voices that told me I'd finish the war." 4. The power within. One night, alarms blared. The boy had vanished. Kale found him standing at the canyon edge, eyes glowing, levitating stones in a perfect circle. Tehran yelled, "Kid, stop!" But the stones dropped. The boy turned. I wasn't hurting anyone. I'm just trying to remember, Ree said. Remember what? He whispered, who I'm supposed to be. Leo pulled Joran aside. He's not just a leftover experiment. He's a failsafe, a final weapon. Joran looked torn. What if he's also just a kid? Kale said coldly. Then he better decide soon. 5. The hidden room. Eileen called the team urgently. I decoded the child's DNA. There's something buried deep. Like a trigger code, she pointed at a section. It activates. Only if he feels threatened. Joran asked, what happens if it activates? Ellen's face was pale. He won't be a child anymore. Suddenly, lights flickered. The boy stood behind them. You think I don't know? He asked. That you all fear me? Ray stepped forward. We don't fear you. We fear what made you. He lowered his head. I hear him, even now. 6. The return of the voice. That night, Joran had a dream. He stood in space, alone. Then, the voice came. Verix, you destroyed my body, it said, but not my design. I live in the code, in the child. And when he chooses, I will rise again. Joran woke up shouting. The boy stood at his door. I heard him too, he said. But I don't want to be him. Joran placed a hand on his shoulder. Then don't. 7. The trail revealed. The next morning, Leo was gone. His station wiped clean. Kale searched logs. He was communicating with someone. Ray dug deeper, and what she found chilled her. Elin. Her log showed secret transmissions, lab visits, and coded messages to a phase operator. The team surrounded her. You helped make him? Kale asked. Ellen didn't deny it. I thought I could stop Verix from inside. I thought, if I helped finish the child, I could erase Verix forever. Joran asked, you lied to all of us? Ellen looked broken. I didn't lie, I sacrificed. Kale raised her weapon. We don't forgive betrayal. But the boy stepped between them. She's not Verix, he is. 8. The true threat outside. Ships entered Aloria's orbit. Stealth Zyphar scouts thought extinct. And leading them, Leo. His eyes were violet. His skin shimmered with hybrid power. Joren was stunned. He copied the boy's code. Used Ellen's research. Leo's voice echoed from the sky. You never understood. Peace was never enough. Evolution demands strength. Kale readied weapons. Then we show him what real strength is. 9. Hybrid versus hybrid. The battle began. Zyphar ships rained plasma across Aloria. Ray and Turan led defenses. Kale fought Leo in the canyon blade to blade, tech against blood. Joran and the boy moved toward the signal tower. You have to end it, Joran said. Shut down your own code. The boy hesitated. If I do, I might disappear. Joran knelt beside him. You might also finally become you. 10. The final choice. The boy reached the core. He touched it. His body lit up. Verix's voice screamed inside him. Do not betray your design. You are me. The boy cried out but stood tall. No, I'm not you. He sent a pulse through the tower, erasing the hybrid code across the galaxy. Ships crashed. Powers vanished. Leo screamed as his form shattered. Verix's final link was broken. And the boy collapsed. 11. A new dawn. Joran held the boy's small body. Did we lose him? Ray asked. The boy blinked. I'm still here, he whispered. But quieter, Kale smiled. Good, we've had enough noise. They buried the hybrid code forever. No more creations. No more control. Just people. Hook ending far away, inside a drifting ship. A glass chamber lit up. Inside. A young girl opened her eyes. Eyes glowing red. A whisper said, you erased the violet, but red was always the beginning. 1. 3 weeks later, strange storms. Aloria was recovering. The fields were planted again. The skies were clear, but strange red storms began forming above the northern hills. No wind, no clouds, Just glowing red lightning that never touched the ground. Kale stood watching. They're not natural, she whispered. Ray walked up. What now? Kale answered, trouble. 2. The dream of the red chill. Joran was sleeping when he saw her. A small girl, standing in an empty ship, eyes glowing red. Alone, she said softly. You killed Violet. You buried Gray, but you never touched me. Who are you? Joran asked. I'm Red, she said. And I don't destroy with armies. I rewrite truth. Joran woke up in sweat. He looked outside. The sky was glowing red. Point 3. Message from the Edgelio's backup logs had been decoded. Elin called a meeting. He had a plan in case he failed. It was called Project Red Genesis. Kale read the files. Not a weapon, a rewrite system. Ree frowned. Rewrite what? Joran understood. Reality, Ellen added. She's not just a hybrid. She's a signal alive. Her power is to reshape minds, rewrite history, even undo memory. If she activates fully, she could erase the war. Or rewrite it in her favor. Kale stared. She could become God. 4. Red arrival then. She came. A ship fell from orbit, landing softly in the Elorian Canyon. From it walked a small girl. Red hair. Red glow, bare feet. No emotion. Joran, Kale, Ray, and Ellen went to meet her. She smiled. Hello, I've been waiting for you. Joran asked, why are you here? She tilted her head. To end your story. 5. Inside the signal, she touched the ground. Suddenly, everything shifted. Joran blinked and found himself back on the farm. 20 years ago. His wife was alive. His child ran through the field. No war. No pain, but something felt wrong. He looked up. The sun was red. 6. Echoes of regret. Kale was in her old resistance base. Before she ever met Joren. Ray found herself in her lost planet, surrounded by her long-dead family. Ellen saw her lab before she ever joined. Zyphar. They were all in their pasts. Happy, safe, but not real. Joren heard the girl's voice. I give you peace. Isn't that better? He shouted, this isn't peace, it's a prison. 7. The real fight. Joran broke the illusion. One by one, he pulled his team back. Kale cried as she let go of her sister's ghost. Ray screamed as her home vanished. Ellen collapsed when her lab burned. Back in the real world. They stood tired but free. The girl stood before them, calm. You broke it, she said, but not me. 8. Joran's final stand. Joran walked forward. No more tricks, he said. No more gods. No more rewriting. The girl's red energy surrounded her like fire. You can't stop me. Joran raised the last hybrid core, the one Violet left behind. I don't have to, he said. He gave me the key. The core pulsed. The red energy faded. The girl screamed, not in pain, but in fear. No, you're erasing me. Joran said softly, you were never real. Just someone's last fear. 9. Goodbye. The girl stepped forward, now just a child, tears in her eyes. Will I disappear? Joran knelt. No, you'll rest. He touched her hand, and she was gone like smoke and light. The red sky cleared. The final war ended. 10. Legacy of the farmer. Weeks passed. Joren stood in the field. Alone. Kale walked up. Are you okay? He smiled. I started as a farmer, became a soldier, then a leader. She nodded. And now? I'm just a man who wants peace. She looked at the rebuilt world. You earned it. 11. Final words. Joran looked at the stars. So many wars, so many lies. But in the end, one truth matters. We chose to be better. Ree added. And if darkness comes again? Joran smiled gently. Then we remind them, even a farmer can change the stars. Ending. Hook. Far beyond. A metal archive opened. Inside. Hundreds of hybrid blueprints. A hidden AI whispered, Genesis complete. Uploading. Phase black.